So what are basically query parameters? As you guys have seen on some particular websites, like for example, I write google.com, and right here I write as q uh, question mark page is, let's say, 2, and then I write this ampersand and its limit is 10, right? So these query parameters have a lot of usage. This is mainly used for data transfer while we make API requests to a server to get particular data sets, and it can be utilized there. It can be utilized from one web page to another while transferring data. It can hold different kinds of data as per the developer's requirement. Let's say I have a search query, some particular XYZ queries, or anything. So depending on different use case, majorly it's used in API requests, search queries, and transferring user tokens or data or other things like that in our query parameters. So you can research more about it and learn basic fundamental, but you are here looking for this video learning how to use it while we develop it or code it. So let's dive deep into it. And here I'll explain in two examples. First one is in a basic vanilla JavaScript project. So here I have an object that I have created, which is an ID one, a name, an age, and key value as hobbies, which has three data as an array. So I'll just create a simple function in JavaScript. I'll pass my param object, and here what I'm trying to do is I'm creating a string, empty string variable, and I take out all the key value pairs and create an array using object.entries of JavaScript, and this param object is gonna return me different kinds of data what we have. So here it's a number, a string, and here it's a whole list array, whatever you call it. So here it will check if it's an array. If it's not, it will directly encode. And if it is an array, so basically if it checks if this is an array, one case scenario I've handled, it will use this particular part. So the only difference is that we append this whole string and put it as one output, and otherwise we jump up to the next one. It's a basic function, but there might be different edge cases that you might encounter. For example, if the user have a to-do list and it can be an object and it can have a task one, and this task one could be, let's say, some string, do the dishes or something like that. So it could be n number of tasks. So you need to handle all the different type of data types and those keys and values pairs uh, on particular scenarios, which can be easily done by passing a switch case or an if else here. And but at some scenarios it could be a nested data structure as well. So this, let's say, our task 2 can also have something like an object, and it can have task 1.2 or task 1. uh, let's say it could be option 1 some value, and then it could have option 2 could be an array. So what happens if such a scenario comes up? So to handle such deep nested scenarios, you can use a technique called as recursion. So here we'll go, and so once my string is created here, what I'll do is inside the history is basically the all the data of the URL of the current web page that you are viewing. I'll just push it, and I'll push the new URL that I have created. The reason I have to create the URL and push it here again is because when I'm using a vanilla HTML page and I'm doing any transaction, it will automatically on every new render, it will create, remove all the URL parameters that we have created. So that's the reason I have to create the whole new uh, URL string again. Otherwise, if you're using any other client-side framework, you can directly push the query parameters, which we will see in our our React example after this. So I'll just run this and you can see age is 24. Hobbies are dancing, coding, and swimming as we had in our object, and the name is Jack, and our URL param string or query param string has been created, and then it can be utilized wherever we want. And then now I'll show you the React example. Alright, created a basic form in HTML. It's actually called JSX in React. So hit the page. So you can see this basic ugly looking form, but it works. So yeah, why not? So I'm using a ref which is getting me all the data of all the inputs, and I'm storing it in this ref. And when you hit and trigger submit, this submit handle submit button, it will grab all the data that you are storing in this ref. The reason I've used ref instead of use state is it does not causes a lot of re-render on every key change. It does not re-renders our page lot much than use state does. So yeah. So here I've created a name. You can see age and a message. And then similarly in the vanilla example that we saw, we create key and value path, and similarly I create an encoded URI component and pass it to the main string. And this is a hook that is provided by search params. This hook is provided by React Router DOM. And I'm just pushing it here in the set search params. It's handling on itself. Uh, as we did in the vanilla example, we had to, create it and push it in the URL. Nothing I have to do here. It's very easy. So I'll just run the code. So yeah, so here is a React app running, and it's a basic form I've created. And I'll write the name as Jack. The age will be 35, and message will be hello. How are you? So yeah, so I'll just submit it, and you can see the name is Jack. Age is 35, and message is hello. How are you?